Go live. Hello, everybody. Time was up, and I was talking about crazy, stupid things because that's what I do. Hopefully, you can hear me, and I'm going to assume that you can because you should, because, well, that's part of the whole point of listening to a podcast. Or not a podcast, a show, a thing, whatever. Oh my God, words fail me, and
Good start,
someone
guy.
else talk.
Should we introduce ourselves? Should we jump in and say hi?
Yeah, say hi, say hi, say hi.
Hi, everybody. My name's
Hi.
Jeremy. My name's Jeremy Cobb. I'm from Three Black Halflings usually, and other stuff. I do pro GMing stuff and a variety of different things. Hello, it's great to be here. I play Finnigan Abafele, who is a Kender blade singer wizard, and he's very excited to hopefully win this fishing competition.
Michael.
Hello there. My name's Michael. I'm the Dead Aussie Gamer, and I play Nudeih, and I am, of course, as you can clearly see, a red wizard who is currently getting a swimming lesson.
Gabe.
Right, I am Gabe. I am a comic artist and illustrator, and I am playing Vannwel Amalith, which is a Sylvanasti high elf wizard, and is pretty certain he's gonna lose the fishing competition.
Lou.
Hey, and I am also here. I'm the token pink person. I'm Lou, and I'm Lou Pryor. I am a writer and editor. I work for Nord Games and other third-party publishers, and I am playing Mrs. Marjorie Eve Thornett, who is a part-time warlock, full-time older woman of Calaman.
There we
Takes
go.
such stuff very seriously.
Including the mysterious fishing competition that they are all referencing to. Before we jump into that fishing competition, you may or may not remember this image that was created based on a session now 2 weeks ago. There was some phrasing, there was a caption that was required for this particular image, and that caption was decided on discord.gg/greatgm, where the winning caption for this image was from Erok Van Roxalot. I think that was the one that caught the attention of a lot of people. And the caption would be, "Stop in the name of love." Not exactly what happened on that particular occasion, if I recall. There was not much love going on. Anyway, now we have to share. I have to share because it was absolutely wonderful and amazing. And well, I suppose one should expect it of the person. Is the image for last week? You can now go and caption on Discord, and the image was created by one of our amazing players. And here it is. Isn't that absolutely stunning? I think it's awesome. And that is basically, that's a summation of what happened last week. The party went fishing for a fishing competition, and one of them caught something. Another one stole it from them and let it go free. And someone else didn't do anything. And someone else caught something that pulled them clean off the boat. And so that is where we find ourselves. Now, in case you do not remember... In case you don't remember, what you can do to influence the game, if you want to influence the game, is there is a super chat that can go on that if you want to do crazy things, you feel free to contribute to that super chat, but you do not have to. And remember, financial security before gaming. So with that in mind... Big thank you to Laura Bones, 79, who is our moderator. Fear her, for she has all the power, at least, and all the links for all of the bits and pieces that go on here. So be kind, and she will give you everything that you could possibly want. Well, within Super Chat, anyway. Right, on with tonight's show. Nudeih, you have just been pulled from your fishing position into the water by a tremendous force, which launches you through the air and tugs you into the cold, brownish waters of the River Vingard. Everybody else is, well, still in the boat. I'm going to ask you all, if you wouldn't mind, please, to roll initiative for me for no apparent reason.
Oh no.
Whilst they're rolling initiative, we are using D&D Beyond for dice rolling and character sheet, character collection, etc., etc. And we are using Dungeon Fog for the maps and token movement, etc., etc. So we got some
Guy,
celebrations
did you get
going
mine?
on there.
My first nat 20 of the campaign, I think.
A natural 20, that means we get one of those, which is
Hey.
wonderful. Nat 20 for initiative, always a good use for a natural 20. As they say, everyone's
says the
coming
DM.
through. And so, Finnigan, what are you doing? You hear this loud splash from behind you as you were attempting to look for the strange carp known as Bannerbog.
Yes.
But that had not worked out so well for you.
No, not so far. I'm going to, I think, upon hearing the splash, go, Banabog, and whirl around to see what happened.
You see churning water and bits of Nudeih's outfit disappearing underneath the waves.
I shout out, "Oh no! Banabog has eaten Nudeih!" And I'm going to run forward and try and, oh my goodness. So I guess I just see his clothing. How far is he from the edge of the boat?
10 feet.
Oh, fully 10 feet from the, oh dang.
Can we see him, or is he under?
Loud splashing, and at this moment he is sinking under.
Okay. Then I am going to instinctively
Sorry. 10
try and cast. I'm going to once again. I'm going to run over. What do I do? What do I do? I tear off my glove. Look at it. No, it's the wrong spot. Pull off the other glove. Oh, come on! I pull off a boot. Look at the underside of my foot, and I'm like, there it is. And holding my foot just kind of one-legged in the air, perform a complex series of movements, and cast sleep directly beneath Nudeih.
Okay.
Finnigan loves making people sleep.
You cast sleep directly beneath.
Oh yeah,
Nudeih.
sleeping underwater. What could be more healthy than
What
that?
could go wrong?
Go
Yep,
ahead.
I'm trying to
roll
cast
the-
it below him so it doesn't hit him. Like maybe a good 5 feet below where I see him, he would not be in the radius.
Do you have to see
Sleep
the
is
point?
clearly is famously
No,
a
sleep
spell
is
where
AoE.
you target a single target.
There we go. All right. Roll your sleep effect.
Okay, so it is going to be, it's 5d8s. So let's go ahead and roll these 5d8s. There's the D. There's the 5d8s. Okay, come on. Oh, okay. Well, 23.
23 hit points of whatever falls asleep underneath Nudeih as he's being pulled under. To your surprise, several large carp float to. Well, they don't die. So several large carp breach the surface just for a second around Nudeih, and then their swim bladders equalize, and they just their fins are breaching the surface.
Can I tell forthwith, just as a side note, grab those carp.
Your unseen servant will slowly start making his way over to the sleeping carp. Right, so that's what you were doing. Next up, oh my, Marjorie, you
Hello.
are looking at Nudeih? Are you looking in his general direction? What would you say? It's not your turn, but are you looking in Nudeih's direction?
Yes, I look over when I hear the splash. I look over to him, assume that he's jumped in after a carp, and roll my eyes that he's taking us far too seriously.
As you roll
And
your
not
eyes,
being very sportsmanlike.
you see this little burst of water just in front of you as you sit at the front of the boat, and sailing towards you is this, and I don't know why it's this particular color, this bright pink little octopus which sails straight at you. You are convinced its tentacles are poised in a very rude kind of manner as this little pink octopus sails directly at your head. It sails past your head and disappears on the other side of the boat and splashes down into the water.
There appears to be octopus projectiles. Look out, gang.
Oh, that's the jumping octopi. We get a lot of those back home. Watch out. They can be a little nasty. They're suckers. They got little razors on them.
Are they high-value targets in the fishing competition?
No, they don't weigh very much at all.
No, shan't worry then.
Uh-oh.
I'm Van now.
Michael, you broke it by raising your hand.
No.
What? I
You
didn't.
monster.
Did it detect when I actually raised my hand?
I'm
Yes.
Van. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Do we need to switch character sheets now?
No, wait.
I don't know. I just need
Stop
to lower my hand. is
moving
all.
your hand.
It's fine. No, did Zoom just automatic? It did. Oh my god! Did you know that Zoom automatically sees when you're raising your hand?
Yes.
I
Yes.
didn't.
I
Well,
didn't
you
know
do
that.
now.
So it focuses on you in meetings.
I don't want
AI.
it. I don't want it to do that. Oh.
Well, it did. All right, back, focus.
Drown being more still.
I will come to you. I know you are holding your breath, but I can't go faster than the initiative tracker. Literally won't let me. Van, you're up next.
Right. So, I think Van rushes to see the water where the splash
Right,
was
next to Finnigan.
next
Yeah.
to Finnigan. So is Nudeih being pulled, or is he kind of like floating underwater at this point?
Due to the unusual temporal mechanics of the role-playing system that we are playing, he is currently still sinking below the waves, as this is all happening in the same round.
Right. So part of him is outside of the water, like he's thinking.
Bits of boot and hands, yes.
Right. So I think,
Michael has not learned.
I think
Vannwel.
Van is gonna try and see if he can. He kind of just puts his hand out, and he's trying to make. He's using shea water. He's gonna freeze like a slab of ice, kind of like under him, in order for it to kind of come back up, kind of like floating back up, like a raft. But it's kind of just like a surface made out of ice that kind of just pops back up. If the popping back up does not happen automatically, I can do like a secondary effect as well, which would be kind of having like some movement of water having to like push him gently back up to see if that can stop him from like sinking further. Huh?
Go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
Ooh, fancy. That's a 10.
That beats that creature. So your block of ice forms underneath
It's like a sheet of ice, like
a sheet of ice. All right,
Yeah.
a sheet of ice forms underneath Nudeih. Nudeih, you are popped to the surface. And wrapped around you is this gigantic octopus that is very dark in color, but you can now see has its tentacle, one of its tentacles anyway, wrapped very much around Nudeih's waist, and another wrapped around the ice block, as it is very. It's not ice blocks are not common in the Vingard River at all. But yes, this is this large creature that has been pulled to the surface because of your block of ice.
well, part of it.
Part of it, anyway. Yes, correct. I think that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Marjorie! And then Nudeih.
How are you, Nudeih?
Just
Good, good. I was just seeing whether he was still conscious, able to speak, able to breathe, just trying to gauge that, really. How much octopus can we see?
You can see about 50% of it. Its large sort of bulbous head is floating on the water, but most of the tentacles are wrapped around Nudeih.
Fair enough. Okay, I guess I'm probably gonna aim at its head then. I would aim at a tentacle, but I guess I don't want to hit Nudeih. So I'll say, if you could please Just let him go. And I'll give him a quick little blast. As in, of the Eldritch variety.
Of the Eldritch variety, lovely. Currently, you are. Oh, I did not enable. Damn.
I mean, I don't.
You are 35 feet away. Do you need to move closer for that, or do you have the range?
I have the range.
Oh, perfect.
It's 120 feet range.
You nearly hit it. Nearly. Your blast incinerates water around it in a great big spray.
Maybe that'll scare it a little bit. Maybe think twice about giving him a little squeeze. But, you know.
It does not even know what landed next to it.
No,
Sorry.
that's fair. It's a, big squid.
Are you doing anything else?
I'll... Where is everybody on the boat? I'm probably quite aware that I don't want the boat to capsize. I know that Van and
Finnigan are at the far end, closest to Nudeih.
And they
You're
both
at the
rushed
other
kind
end
of over
boat.
there. Yeah, see, I think I need to stay where I am, because if we all rush to the back of the boat, that's going to cause us all kinds of problems.
Yeah.
There.
Do you want me to zoom in on the map a little bit so you can see?
That'll be good.
Is that a bit clearer? There we go.
Yeah, lovely.
Right,
It's not that I don't want to come over and help Nudeih, but I feel like all of us on the back of the boat will make it capsize. So if it's okay, gents, I'm going to stay here.
I think that's sound thinking, Marge.
Absolutely. Nudeih.
Right. As Nudeih's body is ensnared by these long lashing tentacles, Nudeih is gonna like pull one of the tentacles off, from his jaw as he says, "This one is mine."
Kind of goes.
And I'm going to go. I cast Shillelagh, and I reach into my pouch, and I pull out a crowbar, and I start whacking it.
That's some good deception there, because wizards always yell "I cast Shillelagh" and druids always yell "I cast Shillelagh" before they do it. So
yes, my deception
would
is an
believe you.
18.
You are absolutely. Everyone believes you are casting Shillelagh, and then you beat it with a crowbar.
Can Finnigan, with his extensive study of like trying to figure out spells, is he aware that Shillelagh is not a wizard spell?
You can give me an Arcana check.
Michael's gonna be freaking rumbled by casting
No,
the
not-
wrong spell.
Just because you can't cast the spell, don't limit me by your spell list.
Yeah,
I
it's
think-
definitely not arcane. It's actually frowned upon within the Mages of High Sorcery. It's a nature thing.
Then I think Finnigan is going to be like, he's going to think back to conversations he's had with Nudeih and be like, and then he's going to go, wow, incredible, my friend casting magic. He's so powerful, he's not even a wizard spell. He's incredible. And I start chanting, Nudeih, 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 and try to get other boats in to start cheering him on as he's whacking this octopus.
Such
Make
a good
your attack,
spellcaster.
Michael. Oh, look at that.
Jeez.
All right,
Look
that's
at that.
22 with my crowbar.
That's a definite hit. You hit this octopi.
All right.
7 damage.
Well, actually,
More?
I
Bless you.
was gonna ask if I could use, because I mean, with sneak attack, I get sneak attack if I get an advantage roll.
Correct.
Would using lucky count as giving myself advantage?
No, it does not.
Okay, that's very
It's
well.
not.
Yeah, no, I just
Do
smack
you
it
not
with the
get it from
crowbar.
having an ally within 5 feet of your target?
Oh, does it? Oh, do I do have?
It
an ally
kicks in
within 5 foot?
eventually. I don't know if it kicks
I
in.
don't know when that
second level.
arrives. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's assume for now it does not. So let's move on. It is the octopi's turn. It
Oh,
tries
more than one?
to.
Oh, sorry, I do have a bonus action, which I'm going to use my cunning action to dodge
Okay. And that
and
gives
evade
you-
the We're gonna use the crowbar basically to just keep every time it sort of latches onto something, I just
Yes,
pry it off and then
pry it off.
just like, get off me.
Does that give you advantage on your on attacks made against you? Disadvantage on attacks made against
disadvantage on attacks made against me?
you? It tries to attack you with disadvantage. And it only hits an armor class of 13.
Misses.
Which misses.
Get your
Pry,
tentacles
you
off
roll,
me, you
dodge,
damn
you
dirty-
get out of the way. And that one misses. Unfortunately, your thrashing about has certainly caused it to get quite angry.
No.
Or perhaps for another to appear off of the side of the boat. And it starts to pull itself onto the boat as it seeks out whatever it is that has been disturbing its slumber. And as a result, Finnigan, Vannwel, and Marjorie, I need you all to give me dexterity saving throws, if you please, as the whole boat tips to the left.
Okay.
Finnigan is in the water.
No.
Marjorie is not in the water. Vannwel is not in the water. Finnigan, you got tipped out like a tipsy tiefling. No, you got tipped out like a little kender. So yes, you are now also floundering in the water, unfortunately. And that is its turn, which brings us back to the top of the round. Finnigan, you are up. What are you doing?
Okay, so I'm in the water. How far am I from any? I'm trying to see here. How far am I from the octopi?
The one that has got Nudeih in its clutches, you are 5 feet away from. The one climbing into the boat, you are 10 feet away from.
Okay, then I'm going to look back at the rest of the party and see. I'm gonna look up at Marjorie and say, "Good news! The octopus is helping to stabilize the boat. We can all go help Nudeih now." And now I'm going to look over at Nudeih and seeing that he's very much being attacked as much as he is struggling. I'm like, I gotta help my buddy. I'm going to start as I start swimming, because I despite having never seen a fish, I've spent, I think, a decent amount of time in the water. I start singing, kind of humming a swimming tune to myself as I start paddling over, drawing my sword, and I start. It's like one of those songs where you use implements, like instruments, to keep sort of a beat, sort of like the was it like a stomp where the dude was swinging the thing through the air. I think my sword, as it swings through the air, because my sword has a couple of holes in it, makes kind of like a and as I'm swinging it, making that and sort of singing and humming my song to myself, my little battle song, I'm going to activate my blade song as I swim over to try and help my buddy, which gives me a +1 to my AC. My walking speed increases by 10 feet. I have advantage on acrobatics checks, and I have a +1 bonus to any con saving throws I make to maintain my concentration on a spell. So I activate that as a bonus action, and then I'm going to swim. Yes, I think I'm going to swim because I'm right next to him. I'm going to swim over and take a stab with my Acrophena. Let's see.
Stab away, sir. Stab away.
And the dice have betrayed me.
They have. You stab at it, but you also realize that you're fighting in water, and so your thrust is also a little bit of a backwards push for yourself. And so the blade tip comes very close, but just not close enough, as you have struck and missed. I think, is that all from you?
Yeah, bonus action. Yeah, that's it for me.
There we go. All right. I'm going to roll a die very quickly for no apparent reason.
I'm just imagining as he's swinging, Nudeih is like, Finn! Finn!
Don't worry, you are not within this. It should be fine. It will only hit you with the flat of the blade.
I think Van just shouts, "Finnigan, what are you doing? Get back on the boat!"
As you shout that, this pink bullet sails out of the air towards the back of your head, only it completely misses and lands on the other side of the water and vanishes once again.
Right.
Van, what are you doing?
Right. So Van is. There's a lot of things happening. Van is getting. He sees the octopus getting on the boat.
Yeah.
He kind of moves to the corner, of the boat against kind of where, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he's like, he doesn't understand what Finnigan is going swimming to stab the monster. So he looks at the octopus. He's like, well, that can wait. And then he looks at the Finnigan, and again with another shape of water, just trying to do like a surface that he can kind of climb up, kind of locked into where Nudeih is as well, kind of like maybe an extension of that, where he can kind of maybe somewhere where he can kind of climb and do something. I can have two simultaneous effects with it, so I guess at that point it was just like that would be only the area that I can make, and
Okay.
that's it.
So an ice sheet.
Yeah, something like a surface that he can climb on, 5 feet.
So Nudeih is on one and Finnegan's on the other.
Well, I don't know if it's because he's already taking an action. I don't know if it's
Right.
more like next to him so he can kind of climb up.
Okay, I got you. So to give them a nice firm surface to climb onto, you make a wedge of ice. Yeah? Okay, I'm assuming that's what he's doing because he's frozen. And so there is your wedge of ice, gentlemen, that you might be able to climb onto. Imagine that being ice. There we go. Are you doing anything else, Vannwel?
No, that's it.
Marjorie,
So,
what are you doing?
well, Marjorie is going to see the octopus who's trying to climb onto the boat.
Yes.
That's not okay.
No, it's
I do beg your pardon. I'm not sure whether you have ears, but this is a fishing competition. The sea creatures are not supposed to catch the competitors. And you were not invited. And she is going to cast Cause Fear on the octopus.
Ooh, lovely. That's a wisdom saving throw?
It is a wisdom saving throw. I'm going to hope an octopus is not very wise.
You'd think. But Dungeons and Dragons says otherwise. An 11.
Ah, fail. Yay!
Yay!
Hey.
All right. This octopi is
Marvelous.
terrified of you. So it cause fear, right? So it has to move away from you as
Yes.
fast as it can in the opposite direction?
Yes, it is frightened of me until the spell ends.
All right. So it has to move its speed, which is... It plops back into the water
Good.
and scuttles away. And what do octopi do when they are running away in fear?
I'll tell you what they do. They have disadvantage against on attack rolls while their target is in
It
line
could
of
ink.
sight.
I think, yeah. I
I'll
think it
do
would
that
just,
fear.
yeah, it just inks into it. That's amazing.
Yep. It just inks itself away. All right, lovely.
I love that.
Are you doing anything else?
How's it going over there? There's one less
All under
octopus
control.
now.
Fine. It's okay.
Nudeih, you're up.
Good.
Um,
Good.
All right. Just because I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, is there a tiny blue jerkhole kobold throwing pink octopus at me? Because I'll call him up. I'll yell at him.
There does not appear to be any sea balls floating around. No.
Okay, just want to make sure because
Yeah, you just vaguely aware of this.
too familiar to things. Okay, so I'm gonna keep wailing on this thing with my shillelagh spell.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Let's give it the old college whack. And now that Finnegan's within 5 foot, that's with advantage.
Is that your sneak attack? Yeah?
Yeah.
Make your attack.
Sneak
Right.
attack. I did look it up. Sneak attack is triggered even starting at level 1 if
Ah.
you have a target within 5 feet,
Oh,
or
within
an
an
ally
ally.
within 5 feet of the target that isn't incapacitated.
Right.
Thank goodness for your advantage.
21.
21 to hit is a hit, sir. Deal your damage.
All right, that is
6 points of
6
damage.
plus
from the
my
regular attack.
sneak attack of an extra 5.
Fantastic. The creature is it's difficult to tell what it's looking like. It's all sort of blubbery and wobbly and jelly-like, and it's always
yeah.
difficult to see what's happening.
I'm-
You are
I'm-
making progress, though, in terms of it seems to be slightly more defensive than it was earlier.
Nice. This is kind of like reminiscent of like, kind of those old mob movies where it's like you're kneecapping someone. So Nudeih is like looking for those like bends in the octopus
Right.
tentacle, even though they don't have bones.
They don't have.
You can see there's just these little moments. And Finnigan, you're probably the only one close enough to hear that, there's these words in Kenda like for short skin, fat skin, both skin in, as he's just whacking this tentacle with a crowbar.
Aim for the beak. It's the only hard thing it has.
Speaking
What do you mean
of
this
which,
has a beak?
apparently no one is hitting anyone as more tentacles try to envelop you, Nudeih, but it simply can't find any perches. Simply cannot find any perches. How long does your fear spell last for, Marjorie?
It's concentration.
Okay, concentration. And does it get a saving throw at the end of each of its rounds?
I believe so. Let me just check that. It can repeat its saving throw at the end of each of its turns, yeah.
It's the end of its turn, and it gets a 5. So it's still
Yay!
afraid. It is deathly, deathly afraid. It has decided that the surface is no place for an octopi to be. Finnigan, where are you?
Finnigan is gonna try and stab it again. He's gonna try and stab it. He's gonna aim for the beak.
Aim for the beak.
Why not?
Right. Absolutely.
Hopefully, even if you don't hit the beak, you should hit something. Hey, there we
go. That's a hit. A definite hit. You stab
palpable
your curious weapon into the creature.
Oh my god. Rolling a 1
Deal
on the
4
damage.
Yeah. Every bit counts. Every little bit counts. You stab into the creature. Are you doing anything else, sir?
I don't think I have any other bonus actions I can use. So I'm just gonna yell out. I'm gonna start yelling out everything I know about octopus anatomy, which is a surprising amount. Because while Finnigan, for anyone who was confused, while Finnigan has never seen a fish, he has a lot of octopus in the river and lakes near his hometown. A lot of cephalopods, like octopus, squid, etc. So
it's a thing. Vannwel,
Right.
once again, this pink dart sails directly towards your head and disappears past your shoulder and off into the water on the other
Can
side.
Van try to make a perception check and see where that came from? Trying to figure out where...
You don't even have to make a perception check. It just launched itself out of the water directly at you. Yeah. As it disappears back into the water on the other side of the boat.
That is really odd. Okay.
Meanwhile, you're up.
Yes. So I think Van is going to, he thinks a bit about casting a spell, but then he kind of remembers that probably is going to be a difficult day ahead. So he takes out his crossbow and points it at the tentacle, which is the only visible thing that we can see right now.
Yeah.
And does a hit.
Make your attack. You fire it off and hit beautifully.
Finally.
Beautifully. Almost a bullseye.
And that is 7 points of damage.
7 points of damage. With 7 points of damage, Michael, you are suddenly enveloped in a large amount of dark ink, and this creature is now desperately trying to get away from the situation. That arrow, that bolt of the crossbow punctured into its rubbery-like flesh, and you can see this rather clear liquid definitely oozing out, and one of the tentacles has lost all motion completely. Marjorie.
Is it running away?
It looks as if it's desperately trying to engage.
It's not trying to
disengage. Sorry, disengage.
Sorry,
Disengage.
yeah.
Disengage.
I was asking the others that.
Oh, it's we got it on the run or on the swim, so to speak.
Yes, nope, everything's in order.
Okay. Better
Marjorie
get
goes
you out
back.
better get you out of there then, I suppose. Marjorie's going to go over, and it looks like Finnigan is closest, and
Yeah.
offer roll up her sleeve and then offer Finnigan a hand.
Finnigan is going to look Marjorie in the eyes with the most sincere look you've ever seen and say, "Thanks, Margie, but I got a plan." And he's going to dive closer to the octopus.
Oh no.
Okay, we'll come to you on your turn, Nudeih.
Can I say, okay, fine, Nudeih? I haven't actually done anything.
You can indeed, absolutely.
Does anybody want to get out of the water?
I'll take up the offer in a moment. But first,
Fine. I will hold my turn, Guy.
All
and
right.
be there in case anyone wants to get out of the water at any
Just in
point.
case, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
They will when they see the fins.
I don't like that. Well, that is a 22 to smack him
Oh, that's
with.
definite hit. That is a
Yes.
definite hit. 7 points of damage.
With
plus
the sneak
your
attack of 2.
Sneak attack of 2. It's definitely looking beaten up. Several tentacles are no longer operating. They only have 2, don't they? No, that's giant squid have got 2 tentacles and the rest are arms. Nonetheless,
8.
the 8, yeah, some of them are named tentacles and some are called arms, depending on what they end in. But anyway, yes, it's looking
fleeing.
severely beaten up, and it's definitely time to disengage. Are you doing anything else, Nudeih?
So if I were to stand next to Marjorie, between Marjorie and Vannwel, would I still be within range of the octopus?
Yes, you would. But at the moment, you would. Are you going to try and swim to the side?
Aren't I on the ice flow?
It's more of a holding on like a life raft.
Oh, like a. Oh, I see. I
It's a
see.
DiCaprio
Okay.
situation in Titanic.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. I given that Finnigan's between me and Marjorie, then I might hold off for the moment, but I'll sort of swim maybe 5 foot a little bit like towards Finnigan.
Sure.
And then I will again use my cunning action to dodge.
All right, that's what you're doing. The giant octopi breaks away. So Finnigan, Nudeih. So just in order, Finnigan, you get an attack of opportunity if you so choose. It is with disadvantage, however, as there is a cloud of ink.
Yes. So I was hoping that, considering I was kind of, both Nudeih and I were kind of up in its tentacles,
Yes.
up and mixed with it, that I could, as it swims away, as I am a small man, grab one of its tentacles and just along with it.
Go ahead and make an unarmed attack against this creature to see if you can grab it.
Okay. Come on, dice. That was almost a 16. I hate this die. I hate these dice so much.
You're not alone. You are not alone. This has been a very no one hits anything combat on both sides, which is unusual. So you sort of reach out to try and grab the tentacles, but it's wet, it's slimy, it's inky. Your skin is changing color in the water. Nudeih, you do get an attack of opportunity as well if you want to take it.
All right, which will counter my disadvantage with my advantage.
Right.
17 to hit.
It's a hit. Do your damage. Could be calamari tonight.
5 damage.
No, it's severely wounded, but it makes its escape. And in a single burst, it gets.
Oh, I was going to say, could I petition that as I hit it with the crowbar that I could like try and hook into it with the hooky bit?
You can give me a sleight of hand check.
Oh, that is an 11. I'm going to use my lucky feat though and reroll that.
Okay. Just remember to keep.
And
track
I'm going
of
to get
all
worse.
these.
Never mind.
You're going to get worse. The game says no. And so it disappears into the inky waters below. You can swim after it underwater if you want to. We are also now out of combat. Yes.
Does an octopus count in the fishing competition?
It would.
Only because Gabe's artwork very clearly sees Marjorie holding the fishing rod that's that's got an octopus. So if that octopus comes on board, it is Marjorie's catch for sure.
I already claimed it. I was on the ice. I said this one's mine. The other one was yours.
The only way to get that octopus now would be to dive under the water and try and follow it to whatever little cave it's gonna go and try and hide in.
Yeah,
I want to look at Finnigan.
On Finnigan's turn. Well, while this is happening, Finnigan is in the water. He already took his boot off. He's just going to look at his foot again and try and cast sleep where the octopus went.
All right, you're going to
which is an AOE. Sleep. That is a 20-foot. Is that a 20-foot radius sphere? 20-foot diameter. So it's got a 90-foot range.
Okay.
20-foot diameter range. Sphere, I believe.
Sure. What is the amount of hit points you sleep?
Okay, come on, Finnigan. Dice, don't fail me now, please.
I mean, unless you're only 5d, 11 hit points.
Yeah, that's a 3-3-3-1-1.
You're gonna have to look underwater to see what happened.
I look underwater.
You dive?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nudeih's gonna dive after the octopus.
Sure, makes sense. So underwater is a very different thing. I'm going to hide Marjorie for the moment and Vannwel, as you're not there. The world is all...
They're just sat on the boat having a chat.
Yeah. Is all guys. Blue and murky. And you can see this squid, or this octopi, I should say, was trying to make it to this rather large rib cage of some creature long since forgotten. But has now just turned into what looks like a rather dead flower, just floating in the water, adrift.
Finnigan is going to swim after this thing as quickly as possible, which I think is faster than Vannwel now. Or not Vannwel, sorry, the Nudeih, because of the blade song. I'm going to swim after it, stab it to death, and then have Forthwit come and help me haul it in.
Okay. So that's what you're doing. We're going to keep the initiative as it is. So you cast your spell and you're swimming towards it. As you are swimming towards it, Finnigan, you become aware of this little pink torpedo currently sailing towards you at tremendous speed. And it hits you on a 19.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Let me just make sure it's the right one. Yeah, absolutely. So what happens is this pink little octopi jets straight towards you. As it gets close to you, its legs open out in all different directions and they just wrap around your face.
Oh, no! I've seen this movie!
And you take 1 point of slashing damage as this little beak kind of tries to rip your nose off. But you are now grappled.
And suffocating.
By a small octopus.
This little octopi is not giving up. Meanwhile, on the surface, Vannwel.
So I think Vannwel turns to Marjorie.
And Marjorie are there.
He's like,
these guys are not.
I thought another octopus had snuck up behind us then. I was like, what the hell?
What the
hell? I'm rolling
a
concentration check, which I have advantage on for Forthwit.
For the lovely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right,
It's
okay.
all good.
I think Van just kind of turns to Marjorie like, these guys actually went into the water.
Yes.
I'm
It seems
not.
slightly unnecessary.
I'm not going after them. Are you going after them?
I assume that they're just having a silly, childish competition and trying to bring home the biggest catch. They're incredibly jealous that I am currently in the lead, and I don't see any point of reducing myself to their level.
Yeah, let's just keep watching. And I think Van just kind of it's like he kind of loads his crossbow again, and he kind of just is pointing the water just until something comes up that is not an ally. So any tentacle that comes up, if it comes up, it will trigger the action.
Lovely. From across the water,
Marjorie gets
you
a
can...
thermos out and says, tea?
Well, remember,
Yes,
there is the
please.
gift. There is the picnic basket that Darrett brought with sandwiches and things like that. From
Perfect,
across
I'm gonna have
the
sandwich.
river, several hundred yards down, you hear a bunch of people basically laughing maniacally as they appear to have been watching what you're doing. When they see you with the crossbow pointed at the water, Vannwel, one of them shouts, "Make sure you've got a rope attached to the boat, laddie!"
Oh. It's okay! We're handling it!
They break out into more fits of laughter. Marjorie, you're having a snack?
Yeah. I'm having a sandwich and a cup of tea while they faff around with an octopus underwater.
Can you actually
They're
pour me
probably
some tea,
fine.
by the way?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry,
I've poured
I hear
both
your
of us a cup
words,
of
but you're
tea.
mispronouncing it. It's called winning.
Meanwhile, winning
Sorry, I
underwater.
can't hear you because you're.
Yes, exactly. Winning underwater, we have our heroes here. This Shapewater is no longer there.
Heroes.
Right, Nudeih, what are you doing? There is a sleeping octopi, and then there is Finnigan writhing and splashing around. And I'd also ask you to make a perception check, if you please.
Oh yeah. Oof, that was almost a 19, but it became an 11. So
Marjorie, quick question: are you keeping your fear up?
Yeah, might as well. I probably.
Sure.
Do I need to roll for my concentration?
No,
I'm not. No,
you haven't
I'm
taken
not
any
concentrating.
damage. It's
No.
just
Yeah.
the spell is still active, so
Yeah.
just wondering. All right, Nudeih, what are you doing?
Might as well.
all right. I'm as Nudeih is swimming towards the octopus, and Finnigan just like sort of like a freaking dolphin, just sort of like whizzes past, and gets hit by an octopus. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna lose like some bubbles, just sort of as I'm just sort of laughing at myself, laughing at the situation. But to be frank, we know that Nudeih's a red wizard, and we've seen Nudeih's ability to save people in peril. And honestly, he can't see what I'm doing because he has an octopus on his face. So I'm going to go hit the big one.
All right, you swing over to the big octopus.
Going to win this.
Make your attack. You have advantage.
Well, if it's unconscious,
asleep. Yes.
do I not get a critical hit
Auto
because
crit.
it's helpless?
Yes, you do.
Excellent. I will do so. Although I don't know how to generate an actual like. Oh, there we go.
Just right-click on
like
the
that.
damage.
Yep. Okay, so that is 8 points of damage.
8 points
But
damage.
didn't double my static bonus though.
No, it doesn't. It just doubles your dice rolled. Your modifiers don't
okay,
get doubled
yep.
with criticals.
Ah, okay, right. And
Yes.
then, oh my God, snake eyes for this sneak.
By 1 hit point, you kill this octopus. By
Yes!
1 hit point. You are so lucky. It dies, and it doesn't really change shape. It's still drifting around. Finnigan is thrashing around next to you.
All right,
so
and
that's
as a
your-
bonus action, I'm going to try and just like again use it mostly for cover, but attempt the dodge cunning action to keep myself moving in the water.
Very good, sir. The octopi is very dead. The other octopi at the end of its round gets to make a wisdom saving throw against the fear. 14?
Yeah, that saves, unfortunately.
That saves. All right. So we'll see what it does there. Back to top of the round. Finnigan, the grappled.
Right. So this thing is on my face. I was just trying to get. Did I feel Nudeih swim past me?
Yes.
Okay. So Finnigan, realizing Nudeih is probably busy with the octopus. I'm not a strong man. And I assume that I'm assuming that I might have to roll some kind of, is this a situation where I could roll athletics or acrobatics to escape the grapple? Or would I have to roll something like a strength check?
Nope, this is athletics.
Okay, so it has to be athletics.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay, cool. Then it's not going to be athletics. Instead, what I'm going to do is grab...
a really tiny octopus. This is something that you would have as a starter. To be clear, it's literally the size of your hand.
Yes, it's okay. It's not going to be for long. I'm going to grab it, press it against my face, and think to myself,
Oh no, he's
well, you want a kiss? And I'm going to breathe fire directly into it.
Oh, I thought he was gonna eat it.
All right.
Maybe later. That may come later.
You are frying the calamari.
Yeah.
It fails its saving throw. There is no ways that it is going to not be hit by your fire breath.
Okay.
Or your breath. Sorry. What is your breath?
It is flame. I'm breathing fire directly onto this thing. And I'm going to roll
water.
a D. Yes. Well, it's directly into its mouth.
Yeah.
3 fire damage.
3 fire damage?
Yes.
There is the very smallest of twitches, and then it just comes loose.
I'm going to grab it and stow it for later. And then do I see Nudeih?
You do.
Okay. Trying to grab I say, oh, thanks, buddy. And I swim up and grab the octopus and start swimming back with it. I'm going to use all of my movement to try and swim back with grabbing this octopus.
Are you grabbing the giant octopus?
Yeah, the big one that I had put to sleep. Because I was like right next to it when I got hit. So I just want to grab it and be like, oh, thanks, buddy. As if he was like getting it, helping me get it, and start hauling it in.
Okay, cool. That's what's going on there. Meanwhile, Van, nothing from below. Although there was a very brief illuminating light, not very bright, and then there were some bubbles from under the water, but that's about it.
Marjorie, do you think they died?
Corpses generally float to the surface, so I would assume, had they met an untimely end, that we would be seeing that they're bloated forms by now. That does not necessarily mean they are not in danger, however.
Right. Can Van kind of look on the water? Is it visible what's happening under the water?
You're gonna stick your head under the water?
No, I'm just gonna look
Yeah,
at the surface.
it's murky, and there's the reflection of the sky above you with nice blue sky with
dark
white
vision.
clouds.
There is some dark vision. I guess I can use.
You'd have to put your eyes under the water. That's the only trick.
Right. Yes, I think Van is gonna. He's kind of waiting a bit with his hold action. So he's gonna just. He puts his crossbow to the side and kind of leans in the boat and kind of sticks his head in a weird way, kind of like, yeah, I guess under it, but kind of to the side so he can kind of see a bit forward.
A very paranoid Van looks down into the water. You do have dark vision, as you say. So you get to see this rather murky sort of scene underneath the boat. There's an old ruined statue that you can see. There's schools of fish all over the place. And then this very large rib cage of some creature that was pretty damned big, being nearly 20 foot in length, this rib cage. It looks like there's a chest underneath that. And then you see Nudeih and Finnigan apparently trying to bring the octopus to the surface by pulling it in half.
Right. So at that point, when I see that they're kind of pulling it, I'm gonna kind of stick my hand in the water, and again, using the shape water kind of spell, I'm gonna just give them a push with the flow of the water around the octopus, that's kind of helping them move outside of the water.
Beautiful.
Hopefully,
Beautiful.
that kind of helps.
Marjorie, are you doing anything whilst Van is now arse high, face down in the water?
Van has like
alive.
1 foot, like trying to keep balance, not going into the water. So it's like
Marjorie's kind of got her hand kind of placed on Van's shoulder, like, yep, I've got you. You're okay.
All right.
Are they
Nudeih
alive?
and
Cool.
with
Good.
the other hand.
Nudeih and Finnigan.
Awesome.
Nudeih, you're swimming to the surface.
Yeah, so
pushed by a current.
I'm not going to immediately pull it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reach into my my pouch and pull out one of my lures, and then stab it like surreptitiously into the body of the octopus while we're swimming upwards.
All right. And with that, we are out of combat. as you both return to the surface of the river to see Marjorie and Vannwel watching you with your giant dead octopi. Over to you guys. Do you climb into the boat with this octopus? What do you?
Yeah, Finnigan's gonna swim like, guys, look, I got it. Nudeih helped me haul it in.
You are sorely mistaken if that's what you feel. I jumped into the river with cunning and precision to grab this. Look, my lure's still attached to it.
Oh.
But I appreciate your help, though, Finnigan.
I guess Finnigan...
most brave, especially the way you swung and scared all the rest of the fish from the area away.
Can I roll insight, I guess? Because Finnigan's kind of confused by this, because he did not see any sort of fishing line or anything like that. He just, and nor did he see Nudeih go in. He just saw that he was in. So
that's true. Well, you would have seen Nudeih go in and then come back up with the octopus before you even jumped in.
No, all I saw was just you. I saw you in the water, and then they rose up, and you were held in the octopus's arms.
Yeah, so I had the octopus before.
Yeah, so I'm not sure who to believe. I'm not sure if...
Go ahead.
I thought you were getting attacked.
Give me a deception check, and that's a deception
24.
check. There, give me an
I can't even
insight
beat
check.
that, but I'll still roll. Why not?
Well, natural 20.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I did not get a natural 20. I got a 3. Goes up to a 5.
Would
Can
you
I make
also
a
please
perception check?
roll a d6 for me, Jeremy? And to see what, Marjorie?
Well, because it was my line initially that caught it, so I wanted to see if it's still there.
Yes. So you're looking for your line, your bit of line.
Yeah.
And your bit of line is, in actual fact, still stuck into one of its tentacles.
Is Van's arrow still stuck in one of the tentacles?
Absolutely. You hit it and dealt a lot of damage with that bolt.
Guys.
Yes.
I mean, technically, we all pitched in to kill it.
How big
Are
is
you
this
saying-
octopus?
Are you saying it's a team effort now?
It is a team effort. And I kind of point, everybody saw that, and I kind of point at the people that are kind of seeing us.
They're not laughing anymore. They're now looking at that giant octopus. It's large. It's huge. As a
Bigger
matter
than
of fact.
my 1.5 foot barbel.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Cool.
We could join forces.
There'll be kind of this look on Nudeih, like he's like eyeballing the others to see if they're willing to take this split. Because Nudeih's one of these people who's like, if they're not going to take the split, I won't take the split. But I'm not going to be the first one to say it. So it's like
Finnigan
a Wild
already said
West
he's
kind
taking
of...
it. Like he's already like, I'm in. Like we all. You're right, Van. We all killed it together.
Yeah.
It's only fair.
You know,
It
it would
is
be
quite big.
awful in one of those games where you have to like split or steal.
Yes, no,
So-
it would be. It would be quite gracious if the victory came for the Wizards of High Sorcery on a united front. Would definitely send out a lot of very positive rumors and things about the strength of the wizard. So I could.
It
I
definitely would be a
love
good
that.
public relations move for sure.
Yes.
Yes, and I can't lose.
Exactly. And then everybody will know that we are very good at fishing. Very good. Probably better than other people.
Suddenly, 2 fairly large carp are dumped unceremoniously into the boat by an unseen servant.
Hey, I say, these are for backup, and I'll just hold them up.
Would you please roll 2d20 for me, Jeremy?
Okay. Let's see.
At the very least, the town will eat well this evening.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Unfortunately, one of them is only about 7 inches long.
Oh no.
The other one is a foot long.
Oh
Not
no.
particularly large.
Oh well, thanks, Forthwit, but I actually already have one that's long.
Fourth what?
Where's my? Oh, Forthwit. That's
Oh, it
my
must have
unseen
been thrown
servant.
from the boat in all the chaos. What a terrible waste.
Mm.
Horrible
Well, it's a
shame.
good thing we're on the same team now. And I
Yes.
just throw those
Yes.
back.
Also, did you all manage to see the chest underneath us?
The what?
The chest. It was the chest.
Exactly. I think Finnigan jumps in right after Nudeih. It's like, I'm coming, buddy.
And kind of Van just kind of turns and see if the people are still there watching, and then they probably are, and kind of just waves.
Yeah, they were watching, but you see now they are all frantically, very desperately fishing very, very hard, as they've now calculated the possible weight of said octopus and have decided that that's probably going to beat whatever they've got. Two of them have caught two interesting things. Let's just have a look and see what they've caught. Measly little things. They're already starting to row their boat further down the stream as they think the noise and the shenanigans that are going on your side are scaring away the fish. So the two of you swimming down into the waters far below, and I'll just visually remind you of what you were seeing, is this treasure chest, not the octopi, he's not there. And although the image here makes it look like it's filled with gold coins, it's not in actual fact filled with gold coins, but there are about 170 gold coins, all told, that you can scoop up. There is also a very curious shaped satchel in amongst that lot. And yes, that's it.
I will, while I'm underwater, close the lid of this, and then use my rope to kind of tie and secure it, and hand one end to Finnigan. Finnigan jumped in with me, yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
To like tell him to pull it from that end, and then I'll push it from this end.
Yeah, I'll help. I'll have Forthwit come along invisibly and help lift the chest along with Nudeih as we swim to the surface.
For sure. For sure.
Finnegan's like effortlessly like, yeah, no problem, because there's actually
No
two of them lifting it.
That brings you to the surface with the chest, indeed. So you have the coins and this satchel. And I say curiously shaped satchel because it is curiously shaped. It's triangular.
Can we open it?
Absolutely. It has two very rusted old buckles, which basically dissolve as you start pulling on the leather. And then you open it.
Mm-hmm.
Inside is a rather plain grey triangular tablet, perhaps would be the right way to describe it. It's about 3 inches from the base to the apex, and it has a single shape described in the middle of it. And the shape, when you rotate it, could look like a constellation of stars, or perhaps a join the dots, where someone joined the dots and made a shape that looked nothing like it was supposed to look. Perhaps it could be a frying pan on this, if you rotate the disc one way around. On the back, there's just a small hole that doesn't go all the way through, but is right in the center of this grey triangle.
Oh, everybody! I think I know what to do here. Just a second. And I start hurriedly looking through my stuff again, like, why did I not get waterproof cards? And I'm going to pull out one of my very damp cards and say, okay, this can take a little bit. And I want to cast Identify as a Ritual on the object.
All right. Whilst Finnigan is doing that, what are the rest of you doing? There's still about an hour left before the competition finishes up. Do you want to go back to fishing or just
I'm
enjoy the lunch?
preparing the octopus.
Ah.
I worked on a fish stall my entire childhood and teenage years.
Yes.
I know how to put it so it's not going to go bad and how to store it and straighten it out. Lou doesn't know those things, so I can't describe it because I haven't got a clue. But Marjorie
you are
does.
preparing it, and Marjorie's doing a very good job with that.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Nudeih and Vannwel?
I'll take the pouch of gold, and I will inform everyone of the pouch of gold, and that I will, hang on to this for the time being. But I think it only fair that we evenly split this among ourselves. Given the 170 that we had, I'll propose for the time being that we split it in a way that is even, with 10 gold just kind of put aside for sundry things like travel expenses and food and beverage and whatnot.
Sounds fair.
Finnigan
Awesome.
agrees.
Loot.
Yeah.
40 gold each and 10 in the kitty.
Yeah, and I think Van is just kind of see that, like, do we have all the oars in the boat?
You do?
Right.
Thankfully, they are all still there. Yes.
You know what? He's just gonna. He knows they probably won. There's an hour to go. He's probably just gonna sit somewhere, just eat some crackers and drink some tea.
Lovely.
Just
An
chilling.
afternoon of boating. How wonderful. Well, a morning of boating, I should say. Right, your ritual spell completes. How does it look, Finnigan?
It is. I take out all. It's me taking out all of my component pouches, or all the stuff out of the components out of my pouch, arranging them in like ever so delicately according to the diagrams that are drawn. There's a few times I make mistakes because it's smudged now. It's essentially I'm laying out like different items, all of which would have like it's like a tiny little metal pair of scales, a little crystal, like some incense, some like potpourri, just different items, all in array around this item. All as I'm touching it, and just like concentrating very hard on the item and like reading, just muttering all of like the various incantations and calling upon the various forces of the universe to bring the knowledge of this thing to myself. So it looks, I think, mystical, but also very studious. Like I'm visibly concentrating very hard, and I think I break a little bit of a sweat trying because this is one of the first times I've had to cast this spell with an audience. So I think as well, I'm like hand shakes a little bit as I'm trying to do this.
Makes sense. Your spell finally triggers, and there is this swirl of knowledge that just rushes in. This device is very ancient and is actually of Istar. It is of the old empire that was trying to become a god, and that caused the cataclysm to happen way back when. But this ancient tablet was known as the Hand of Istar, or at least that's what it would have been called, and it was said that it could control time. If you break this tablet, it will allow you to go back exactly 6 seconds in time.
Okay, so this is the Hand of Istar.
Correct.
Hand of Istar.
Damn.
I'm going to like stare in disbelief. It's like this I think Finnigan's eyes start to like glow, and it's almost like in a comic book how Batman's eyes will just glow white. It's like that sort of thing where they're just like they're not even eyeballs, they're just glowing spots on my face. And I'm like, oh, as they stop, as the glowing dies down, I just sit there for a moment and look up at everyone, and I'm like, do you know what we just found? Well, of course you don't. That's why I had to cast this. Everybody gather around. Shh, don't tell anyone. This is huge. This is the Hand of Istar. It's from Istar, the old empire. If we break this, it'll send us back in time 6 seconds.
Just 6 seconds?
That certainly would have come in useful should one of you have died from octopus.
Yes, exactly. This is incredibly useful. I've never heard of something. I've read a lot of magic manuals, and never have I heard about an object that can control time.
Well, I mean, that's all well and good, but how much is it worth exactly? I mean, is it a valuable trinket? Is it Just
Well,
kind of a
it's an
shiny
ancient
rock.
device. It's an ancient device. It's got to be priceless.
I would
We
assume
should-
priceless.
Oh, I'm
Um,
sure if I looked hard enough, we could find a price.
I believe its
guy-
value to be far more than monetary. I believe in this, at least, Finnigan is correct. And it should not be probably used to make a quick buck.
Well, there's nothing quick about the buck, nor anything petty or common about money. If you want to look at it this way, a museum could use it just as well as any other place. But
I
that
turn
doesn't
away from
necessarily
Nudeih
mean
and
that
have a
those
look
who
at the
acquire
handle
it
stuff.
wouldn't necessarily have anything to do with it.
I look at Nudeih and I say, we need to take this back to the tower. This is an important artifact. This is important for the mages to have to study.
Also, it's very good that we are the ones that found it, because this might be very problematic in someone else's hand. So we should keep it tight and return it to the mages. Well, to us.
Mhm. I will put it in a pouch very securely on the other side away from the octopus, which I will now. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Guy, is it very common for people to find artifacts, not specifically the rarity of this one, but just artifacts that have to do with the calamity, the cataclysm, and like Istar and that sort of thing? Or is
Is
this
it like
like
going to the beach and finding an ammonite?
exactly?
Yeah, it's not anymore. There is a market for old collectible stuff, but it's not a huge market. Istar was seen as literally the people who caused the end of the world, so it's not like there are people out there who openly have Istarian collections. That's very sort of niche, very small. But definitely there are still places, especially in the more wild territories, where things are found. So it's only 350 years ago, so probably why it's still in relatively good condition.
Interesting. Well, whatever. Where we did need Finnigan, you do need to keep it safe. I'm recalling that conversation that I had yesterday with what was her name? Checking notes.
The lady who was smeared in all the black soot.
Dara.
She was Lidara, yes. She was talking about the calamity, the cataclysm, and she was talking about the Lord and talking about things that were going to happen today. And this is pretty rare. So just everything is kind of lining up. I don't have a good feeling at all.
Finnigan, I would ask that should you feel the need to jump into any large bodies of water again at any point in the future, that you would perhaps hand me the hand of Istar for safekeeping before doing so. Feel free to hold on to it in the meantime, but, probably not something to just drop out of a pocket.
Yeah, thanks, Margie. I appreciate that. That's a great idea. I'll definitely make sure to do that. And this Van saying this actually reminds Finnigan. I had sent a burro out earlier that morning to scout around the perimeter of the town to see if there was anything out of the ordinary. Would he have had time in the intervening hours to have returned?
Absolutely. He's returned, and around the edge of the town, he hasn't seen anything odd at all. Just lots of people going up the hill, and then lots of people in the water catching fishes. Which,
Okay. I'll pass this information on to Van and be like, yeah, I was worried about what you said, so I sent a burro out to just see if there was anything out of the ordinary around the perimeter of the town, and it seems like things are okay. I can have him do another look around. Maybe when we go, maybe it's outside the town. Maybe when we go for the battle.
Maybe. I'm just wondering that it might be things that look normal to us, because we've not been in this festival before. We don't really know what usually happens. So maybe if we ask someone that is used to the festival, and just to see if
Perhaps
there's things.
the helpful little type, Darrett, Mr. Highwater, perhaps would be a good person to ask.
Yes, I
He
feel that with
seems obnoxiously
Look,
helpful.
maybe I'm speaking a little out of turn here, but don't you think perhaps maybe we could be exaggerating a little bit? I mean, after all, what we have is a tiny rock that can stop us from burning a fried fish, and an old woman who was covered in mud, rambling about prophetic futures. I mean, it's a festival, and, you know, we've all come here to mourn and grieve our friend. This is, I mean, if something untoward were to happen, there's a literal army of mercenaries just outside the gate here. Surely this doesn't require necessarily our direct attention. I mean, what exactly are we looking for? Are we looking for omens, ill signs, an old man with a cart full of cursed items? I mean, right now, I'm more interested in us getting a good feed and winning this competition, and perhaps finding our way back to the Mage Tower to hand in our lovely little triangle and trinket for perhaps some prestige and some reward.
Well, Van, what did the person say?
The thing is that if it was just like a comment, like a random prophetic comment, I would agree that people are big sometimes like that. However, the comments were very much around. She said things about my past that I'm not sure why she would know specifically, and things that I myself have confirmed that are happening, have happened in recent memory. So
her ability to tell the future is her ability to confirm the past.
that is true.
Any good divination wizard can see a certain amount into past and future. I think
Yes, but anyone with a good book can tell history.
You are speaking a lot of sense.
Perhaps
Was
Nudeih is
she
right.
saying
Perhaps we should
history?
not jump to any conclusions.
Was she saying history and so forth?
Things that happened directly to me. So, and then I think kind of Vannwel just goes and describes his experience and actually kind of relates the story of like Ispen and that conversation where he kind of just went into the mages of high sorcery, and then they encountered the fire, the burning fire, and kind of all of that has to do with the cataclysm, and then also kind of the bit about the ice bone dragon as well, which are just things about the past, which again, these are things that were mentioned in this conversation.
Have we shared this story with
really
each other
unsettling.
before? Like the story with Ispens?
Up to you guys.
Shared our origin stories.
Well, not
I
the
think-
origin story, but just the episodes 1 to 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Finnigan would have at least told most of the story. I don't think he would have gone into detail about the dragon statue saying anything, but I think he would have absolutely said that, like the gist of the adventure.
Okay.
So, exactly that.
What about the others?
I think that it would be fine, especially because you guys have visited Calaman in the year since the Draconians attacked the council chamber. So I think probably when you guys visited, perhaps I gave you a tour of Castle Calaman and showed you the room. Maybe the windows boarded up where the Draconians threw themselves off. And I was just like, well, you know, that's where it happened. That's how this task force all began.
I think Nudeih would have told you that he met Ispin, who wanted him to procure something. You know, he would have done the whole, double speak thing, which I think Finnigan would just nail through straight away. But the breaking into an old Dragon Knight's tomb to go and recover something, though he wouldn't, divulge precisely what. There's only so many things you would really be keeping in a Dragon Knight's tomb. But hearing that this other person knows Vannwel's story is interesting. But do we know Vannwel's story?
Oh, I think he's frozen again.
He's very
Gabe's
pensive. He's
frozen.
concentrating. He's thinking,
think
do I tell them?
Van, you froze, buddy. Would you have told us your story?
Yes, I think I would included that story, and then also throw in a bit about the fact that also we know that things are happening across the land. Like these are things that are happening, and then he kind of alludes to the fact that I don't know if he would go directly like to disclose a lot of the information, but just kind of alluding to the fact that a lot of people have been displaced from western side.
Eastern side.
That is it. Eastern side, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yes, the eastern side. So there are things happening, which with everything that's going on, that comment, I'm really unsettled. But yes, I could be 100% just.
With you mentioning the people getting displaced and all that stuff, I think Finnigan's face gets very serious, and he gets, I think he kind of stares intently off at nothing in particular, and then he, without looking at anybody, he says, I think we should try and find her again and talk to her just to make sure. We don't want to leave something like this to chance. Trust me, you don't want to leave something like this to chance.
Oh, I know.
Might she
Look, if it'll-
might she appear at the festivities? It seems like most of the town are going to be in one place for most of the rest of the next few days. Shouldn't be she, and she's not exactly hard to spot in a crowd.
Okay. In the meantime, I'll send a burro out and see if you can find her before then, but let's then plan to see her there. Because I don't want to wait.
I still think that perhaps maybe Ispin is bringing up a lot of these old memories, and maybe there are shadows, maybe there are ghosts. But if it would put your minds at ease for us to go and speak with, of course, this woman, then the sooner the better, I think. And not forgetting, of course, there's the reenactment that's going to be happening as well. So if we do have trouble finding her, we can maybe locate her there. Apparently, it's a big affair, this big battle reenactment thing.
The trumpet
Pardon
sounds
me.
across the river as the signal for the end of the fishing competition is given, and you hear lots of grumbling and groaning from the other boats as they all start to make their way back towards the docks. I'm assuming you head into the docks?
Mm-hmm.
All right. There is much excitement as everyone is sort of gathered there. Darrett is waiting for you all with a big smile on his face, and he's got towels ready, which he immediately hands to Finnigan and to Nudeih.
Hope they're dark-coloured towels, or they're going to stain.
That part wasn't really thought about, and they kind of look pretty stained already. They're actually pretty threadbare as far as towels go. I saw the entire thing. I thought it was spectacular. Well done. Just between you and me, I think you've got this in the bag. Would everyone please roll a d20 for me? No modifiers at all.
That's always a good sign.
Always a good sign.
It's a nat one.
Natural 1 from Finnigan, 14 from Nudeih, 13 from Van, and Marjorie's is a spectacular 6, followed by... All right. There is much hubbub as the mayor is there, and there's also what can only be a fishmonger by their wardrobe, the fact that they're wearing fish entrails on this very stained apron, and they're busy taking each fish as presented by the team until they get to your giant octopus, and they look at that. Who the bloody hell caught that thing? Which one of you was it?
It was all of us. A joint effort, if you would.
A joint effort?
We're a
There's a
team
big-
now, apparently.
Yep.
Teams? Oh,
Best of friends.
They sort of go into a huddle. There's a general discussion. You hear a, well, why not? Because it's supposed to be an individual. There's this general committee debate going on for a few moments. Then after a while, the mayor steps forward and she says, I think that celebrates the finest tradition of Vogler. A team has won the competition. And so, if I could ask Elder Woman Thornet to present the prize to yourself and the rest of your team, that will conclude the fishing competition. I'm afraid there's only one trophy, but I'm sure that you can all share it. It is, of course, a fish carved out of wood.
Obviously.
Right. Well, any words to the winners, elder woman?
Well, obviously, everybody's efforts were truly inspiring. And as a visiting dignitary and a local who visited this festival as a child, I can only say how proud I am of the fine fishing tradition that has sprung up and continued to flourish in Vogler. And I can only hope that this setback for your fine fishermen, an example perhaps of future improvements in your techniques and teamwork will only improve your catches in the future. I'm afraid on the day the best team won. What is all I well, but and
We're better
Can I use an
Well
inside
done,
check
well
to
done.
see what the reaction is from the crowd at that?
Well, the crowd were sort of following along, and they were being good-natured crowd up until the point that you said on the team on the day the best team won. That's the part where they
Slipped
kind of
out.
go, but anyway, there is
as
thunderous.
that happens, I then want
Yeah.
to end the speech by yelling out, "Vogler, Vogler, 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 Vogler."
I'll let you go ahead and give me a persuasion check there, Nudeih, as you try and rally the troops.
That was 24.
Absolutely. It catches on because Darrett starts shouting it louder than anybody else as he's cheering along, and that sort of gets everyone else to go, yeah, all right, Vogler, Vogler. And that lasts for a few moments. The mayor kind of thanks you, elder woman, and you get your trophy. And then there is a moment where there's this loud "Pah!" and the gnome flinger on top of Thornet
bloody
Keep
tosser.
suddenly throws this basket filled with confetti up into the air. Everyone sort of watches as this belch of black smoke from the tower escapes. The basket spins end over end over end over end, higher and higher and higher into the sky. It seems to pause at the very apex of its trajectory. And someone says, "Isn't it supposed to release some sort of coloured paper?" It hovers, and then it starts its spinning descent like a rocket-propelled grenade without releasing its paper straight towards the large central fish sculpture in the middle of the town market. Is anyone doing anything?
I would.
Marjorie's thrown her hand up already.
I
do you
would
do?
like to cast magic missile.
All right, that's what...
And I would like to Eldritch Blast it,
Oh, Eldritch Blast. All right.
because
And
I'm not a wizard.
Yeah, I'm not a wizard, Harry. You Eldritch Blast it. All right, and Nudeih, you are...
So I've got a my magic missile device, which in my sleeves is actually a slingshot. And I'm basically just going to be firing that slingshot upwards,
Love
pretending I'm casting magic missile.
Both of you can make your attacks.
Hope it goes better than the last time.
The bullet magic missile sails out towards it, as does the Eldritch Blast. Both of them hit it, and there is this spectacular bloom of color and then just paper everywhere. The crowd goes ballistic. They're like, "Oh, that's spectacular!" And there's cheering and applause and much celebrations, which last for a little bit. And then the mayor sort of quietens it down. And, "Ladies and gentlemen of Vogler and honoured guests and the winners of the fishing competition, as is tradition, and also by consent, I believe," she says, looking at the four of you, "the winners will now take on the role of the captains of the Solomnic Knights, who valiantly defended High Hill in the Battle of High Hill against Istarian forces. will you do us the honor, she says, turning to all four of you, of playing the captains of the Solomnic forces?
Do we pick our own teams?
Well, as a matter of fact, the village militia will be playing the role of the Solomnic knights under your command, and Cudgel's mercenaries will be playing the part of the Astari forces that will be attacking. They have already assembled on the high hill. They merely await the arrival of the Solomnic knights, as led by the four of you, if you accept.
Marjorie looks at Finnigan.
Finnigan, throughout all of this, Finnigan has already sent off a burrow. Like, as soon as we got to shore, he sent off a burrow again to try and locate the lady. Finnigan, after our conversation, I think has been uncharacteristically quiet and solemn and hasn't even really been paying attention. When the thing started to fall, he just sort of was watching it without really registering what was happening. But at hearing that we're about to get like, sort of, I think as Marjorie stares at Finnigan, he glances at, wait, sorry, did we get promoted? We're the captains of the, you're joining? Oh, yes.
We're captains of the Solomnic Knights now.
Yes. Okay, yes. Okay, good. Yes. And Finnigan's thinking, okay, this will put us in the middle. This will put us, yeah. The good one, Marchie. And I give her knee a little like, like a friendly little tap. And I think, like, I look at Van and I say, this'll be good, because if something happens, we'll be right there.
I really agree that this is something that we should do. However, Van is a bit nervous because he kind of looks at the person and is like, but like, is it an actual battle? Is it a recreation? Do we hit each other?
The mayor smiles. With the assent of all of you to be captains, I would ask our valiant defender and local squire to present you with your arms for the battle. And so Darrett comes stumbling forward, and very, very, very ceremoniously, he hands first to Mrs. Thornett a wooden sword that doesn't even have edges. It's nicely smoothed and rounded. Then he hands the next blade to you, Vannwel, so that you might inspect it. Then to Finnigan, and then finally he looks at Nudeih and hands you the blade. And as he steps back, he says to you, Nudeih, "Thanks about last night."
I look at the blade and I sort of give him a very surreptitious wink, and I look at the blade and I look at the others and I say, so let me get this right. We are going to participate in a battle in which Cudgel and their men are going to beat us with these. Very kind of you, but I mean, this is the first year we've won as a team. I think perhaps maybe I might take on a more heraldish role and watch from the camp. Is there a tent that they have for the commanding captains that they can?
So the mayor gives you a look, and she says, "You were the ones who came up with the idea of a team win, so you
didn't we?
Be with
That's
the rest
exactly
of your team
what
and
happened.
the top
I
of
guess
the hill."
It would be really inconvenient if we were to backtrack on that now. I look at this wooden fish and I'm like, you better be worth it.
Nudeih, I'm sure it's all just make believe. No one's actually gonna hit us.
You are absolutely correct.
And the good thing about being a general is that you get to send all the little people out in front of you to get hit with wooden swords first.
I cannot stress enough how much I do not want Cudgel to hit me. Like,
honestly, the first time is rough, but the subsequent time's not that bad.
I'm going to stand behind Finnigan.
I think we all are.
There is a lot of standing around behind everyone, but you are quickly made very much aware that for this reenactment, firstly, no magic is allowed at all. Not that anyone can really cast it. There is a young, very, very eager-looking lady. Maybe she's still in her teen years, who they all look at when they say no magic, and she kind of looks a bit crestfallen. But the general idea is that once you get tapped by the blade of your opponent, you are to lie down in the field. And it is also very expressly pointed out that this is to all of the reenactors, while the rest of the villagers have already started making their way out of the village and up the hill, that the Astarian forces have all been told that they'll charge forward with a big rousing cheer. You'll have a few moments to sort of whack it out with one another, and eventually the Astarian forces will turn around and run away. And unlike last year, there is to be no bottom smacking as they run away. That was not favoured. Thank you very much. So
Finnigan goes.
Once those have been sort of outlined, there is basically a good luck, have fun. Remember, the village will be watching, and make it look as real as possible. And rah, basically. Yes.
I know that you said that magic is not allowed, but can we use magic to make it look a bit more real?
I suppose if it's to make it more dramatic, but we wouldn't want there to be sprays of illusionary blood or anything. There are children watching, and it is meant to be a celebration, not a bloody spectacle.
Fine.
But if you have something that you think might be able to enhance it, then I suggest that you do.
Okay. I will keep that in mind. Thank you.
Right. And so we switch as you move from the village. Your flying lizard, a buru, comes flying back to you with a leaf in his mouth.
I take it, and is there something written on the leaf? I look at a burrow, and I without saying anything out loud, say into his mind, like, did you find her?
You just get the image of him flying around, enjoying the sunshine, the nice warmth on his scales, and then suddenly him plunging out of the sky towards Thornet Keep and the pits and holes that have been dug around it, and this strange black hand reaching out and wrapping around him, and then this decided impression of a voice in his head, and then this leaf being shoved in his mouth with the instructions of finding Vannwel.
I nod and I say, "You did great, buddy, and I'm glad you're okay, because that seems like it was pretty scary." And I look up at Vannwel and I say, "Van, he found her," and I hold up the leaf.
Does the leaf have any significance?
As you take the leaf, wind just wraps around you, Vannwel. Everyone else can sort of see Vannwel's hair flying up and his cloak pulling and tugging, his cape desperately trying to blow away in this wind. It doesn't affect any of you. And in the wind, Vannwel, you hear this voice saying, "He's definitely gone to the north. I have to go. You don't. Well, not yet, anyway. What's he looking for? It might be in Calaman. It might be. But why? It's not here. No. I must fly to the north." Then the wind stops and everything goes quiet.
And Van just kind of stays there for a second. So would Van know what Calaman is specifically? Or
Calaman is the city of
You've
Calaman.
been
Right,
there.
right.
You've
been there.
Yeah,
Right.
Came on
literally across the
vacation.
river.
Right. Sorry, lapsus. Did y'all hear that?
They heard nothing.
No, nothing.
No.
That was definitely Lenara, right?
Yes.
Her voice. She was here, I think. She mentioned that she was heading north, and she kept repeating a he, and I think again she's mentioning or alluding to Soth. Kind of just leans to them.
Is that the first time you'd mentioned Soth? Because I don't think the other times that you've told us about this that you.
No, he did mention Soth.
Okay.
Initially in the conversation in the bar. I don't know if it was directly to you though. I think it was to Nudeih.
No, I think it was to me and Marjorie because
Okay.
we were curious, and
You
then
were
we
dancing with
went
Cudgel,
into
I
the
think.
fact that it was like Soth is basically our version of the boogeyman.
Yeah,
So
I'll go.
I don't want to say
Soth!
we. Yeah.
Just really loud and fun hearing.
Low. Keep it low.
Oh, sorry. Soth.
Yeah, that better. And she's just alluding to the fact that he's looking for something. Would it be? You don't think it's the? And he kind of just points to the hand of Ishtar that we found earlier. You don't think it's that?
Maybe. Did you say that she said it was in Calaman? Or that
She
it might be in Calaman?
Yes, I'm not sure if she's mentioning Soth or the thing that he is looking at. She then said that he is heading north. What is north of Calaman and Wogger?
The river is north of Calaman, and then north of Vogler. If you continue to travel north, you reach just the wastes.
Do we know if the waste has any kind of relevance in the whole story of the cataclysm?
It's on the fringes of the impact zone where Ishtar used to be. It is
we have
literally...
we have raiders that come down there for occasionally, but nothing that the city militia cannot deal with. More
I think we
probing
need to
actions than anything.
I think we need to report all of this to the high mages as soon as this is over. I think we need to correspond and see if they can provide any guidance on this, because this sounds like a big deal. This sounds like a problem.
Yeah.
Whether this is actually, and I sort of look at Van and then kind of side eye Finnigan, like the person in question, like I'm not gonna scream it, like Jeremy.
You mean Soth?
Soth.
Whether it is the person in question or someone merely taking on the moniker or masquerading or whatever else, it appears this person, in good or bad faith or whatever, has gone to my city. I need, if this person has gone to the city, all powerful or charlatan, I need to make my colleagues aware. I need to make sure that the militia are on the alert and that the governor is ready should anything untoward happen.
Can you send word of it? It's probably like a couple of hours in a boat. But can we talk to someone so you can alert?
Yes, I will need to send a message straight away.
Just to be clear of the geography, when she said he's gone north, for
North is
him
in
to have
Calaman.
gone north is into the barren wastes.
Yes.
Calaman is to the southeast.
Southeast.
Yeah.
So what was supposed to be in Calaman?
She just said it might be in Calaman. Again, it could be alluding to the thing that he is looking for, because he is searching for something. Or
If the thing he's looking for is in Calaman, why would he go north?
Because he got turned around. He's probably wrong. I mean, have you ever looked for something in the wrong spot?
Or maybe he found it?
No.
Or maybe he's left something behind to find it, perhaps.
I still think it's important that I get word to the city.
Yeah.
Says one of the reenactors as
I was gonna
stalled.
say, can I say real quick, like, Margie, you run and tell your people we'll do the reenactment. I mean, you come back and we'll finish the reenactment, and then after that, we can all just go over to Calaman, just to check in ourselves. But you have your entourage. Just go tell them, and then come back, and then we'll do this, and then we'll do that. Simple.
Excellent. And Marjorie casts a minor illusion of herself with her wooden sword, stood with Finnigan and Nudeih and Vannwel, and slips off back into town.
All right. Well, this is a wonderful opportunity. You're going back into town. The rest of you are marching up the hill. And so I get to read this out. Passing through woods and fields, Vogler's parade of militia members and reenactment spectators, and yourselves, except for Marjorie, finally reach High Hill. The grassy slope is spotted with trees and crumbled stone fencing. Near the base, several dozen soldiers in matching armor stand in even formation. The contrast is striking between these mercenaries of the Ironclad Regiment, that's Cudgel's regiment, and Vogler's militia with their mismatched armor and crooked helmets and wooden swords. But it does nothing to dampen the spirits of those assembled for the Kingfisher's climatic reenactment. So the three of you are ushered up to the top of the hill, and Darrett has joined you. I've been instructed to give you some suggestions, if that's okay. I mean, you don't have to take them, and I'll just shut up if you really want me to. I should probably just shut up, shouldn't I?
No, please, by all means. What suggestions do you have, Darrett?
Well, considering that you've never been on this mission before, the thing that you should bear in mind is that the forces will line up around you. That's our people, the militia, right? And then the Astari will form a line around the base of the hill. That's what happened originally in the battle. And then they rush up the hill, and we hold the hill until we've defeated enough of them that they break and run down the hill, and then we pursue them down the hill, and then that's sort of where it ends, basically.
Well, it seems simple enough.
Yes.
Well,
Go ahead.
Do we rally? Do you rally? Are they rallied?
Well, we have to wait for the Master of Ceremonies to start the whole thing. That's over there, and he points to another hill that has a commanding view over this one. And you can see there are several tents that have been set up with open fronts, and the crowd of the villagers around the tents on either side. In the middle of the main tent, you can see the mayor and Becklin are seated. You can see Cudgel is there as well, getting quite happily merry. And then there's this fairly rotund individual with a grizzly beard and scruffy hair, wearing a rather ostentatious tabard, very garish. And he steps forward, and you can see him saying something to the crowd, addressing them. And then they cheer, and the cheer drifts out over the trees towards you. You can't see the Astari forces anymore. The militia have pulled, the mercenaries have pulled back into the forests. Your militia are gathered around you in a sort of a tight knit, various bunches of people. They all kind of grinning and smiling, and you can see one of them is he's holding a wooden sword. But you can see in his other hand, he's got a very hard-looking cudgel that may have a cap of steel in it, which he's kind of keeping aside. It looks like he's planning on just hitting someone just a little bit harder than perhaps one should. It doesn't look malicious. It looks more of a retribution, perhaps, for a defeat last year. But that's what you're seeing. Marjorie, in the meantime, you have headed back to the Brass Crab?
Yes. And
With the
gone to my
intention of...
room.
Yes,
With the
absolutely.
intention of going to my room to write some missives to send out.
Absolutely. Would you please, whilst you were there, give me a perception check?
I sure can. Probably. Maybe. Who knows?
And
I sure can.
A dirty 20. You, whilst writing your missives, your window has a view out onto the wharves. You hear a grunt of effort, which causes you to perhaps look up from your letter writing. And you see that young kid from the night before, Bacchus the Younger. He appears to be loading large trunks into a very well-to-do looking boat. The only reason why it's slightly out of place is because the only people left in the village are the elderly who couldn't make it up the hill, or the staff of the Brass Crab who are busy preparing for the feast that is going to happen later on this evening.
Okay. Marjorie quickly signs the note that she was writing. She's written 3. Well,
Right.
well, she's written several. She's written because I would assume that a note would go to I don't know how post works in this world. Like,
There is a postal system.
Okay, so because like I don't know. In my head, it kind of works like telegrams used to work. To it kind of go to a central office and then sort of go out to whatever else.
Yes.
But
so
I'm going to send the same message
Right.
to each, and just say like copy to each of the council members
right.
to say that there is a potential threat, confidential. Look out for any strange objects or rumors about, fantastical stories that start appearing about figures, whatever is in town. And then I also write to Mr. Thornet, and send one to his little shop enterprise in the little delta out of Kalaman Bay, and then I send one to my own office. I'm not entirely sure how to reach him, but I think that they're the 2 best
Sort of spots.
options.
Makes sense.
And then I'm going to go outside to see Lord Bacchus.
To be clear, it's his son, Bacchus the Younger.
Yes, the younger. Yes.
Correct. So, right. That's what you were doing. The notes you basically hand in to the owner of the Brass Crab, and she looked, well, as soon as young Jimmy is back from the battle, I'll get him to pop into the boat and take him straight down to Calaman. Should get there by about 6th bell this evening.
I'd really appreciate his haste, Ilme. Thank you ever so much.
I let him know, absolutely. In the meantime, I do suggest that after the battle, you give your hand, or your taste, I should say, to the bisque. It's particularly good this year.
I certainly shall. Now, if you will excuse me.
Oh, absolutely. Go and lead them to victory, madam, she says as she kind of goes back to her thing. The gentleman out on the hill, that is what you are seeing. You're on this lovely hill that commands this view. Only something odd is starting to present itself from the base of the hill. You watch as this large rotund fellow drops a white handkerchief and several trumpets blast, and Darrett says, that's the beginning of the... That's the beginning. They should be coming up anytime soon now. Oh, this is my favourite part. My favourite part. And everyone make a perception check, please. Except for Marjorie.
Since Aburo is with me, can he give me the help action?
Yeah, sure.
I'm offended by these low rolls.
Rolling pretty bad.
So Van, you're just seeing trees.
Yeah. Very nice
Finnigan,
trees.
between you and Aburu, there's something very shiny down at the base of the hill. But Nudeih, you see it very clearly. The mercenaries that are supposed to be representing the Astari forces, They're currently making their way up this hill, but their weapons are very real. Several spear tips make their way through the foliage, and you can see it quite clearly. And several of the warriors in the front have drawn longswords, which are very much real longswords. Currently, no one else on the hill has noticed this, and everyone is getting ready with their wooden shields and their wooden swords.
Very nice trees.
Oh dear. Is there a retreat button, a horn or something we've been provided?
Are you asking Darrett?
I'm asking the GM.
There has been no communication of a button of any sort.
Then I will ask Darrett.
You want to what, sir?
Just hypothetically, if I were to tell everyone, we run away! Retreat!
We're surrounded, sir. That was the point of the Battle of High Hill.
Well, Darrett, do you have a real weapon on you by a chance?
No, you're only allowed to use wooden ones, sir.
Nudeih,
right.
what's the problem?
Those weapons are real. Very real. So incredibly real that we may be seeing a battle of Second High Hill in a moment.
Wait, is that the shiny thing?
I immediately channel all of those like it basically like literature, like the art literature of like heroes of yesteryear, and Nudeih says, "All right, men, women, shoulder to shoulder, stand by. Anyone with shields to the front. Those with long pole arms behind, form lines and gather tightly. No matter what happens, do not break formation."
You're making it sound so real. I love it.
Wait,
I'm
gonna
Certainly
send a
is
burrow
very
up,
good,
'cause-
says someone from behind you.
Yeah, I'm very
I-
confused. Can I send a burrow up to see like if this is legit? Like, is this an actual armed forces approaching us?
I will grab both Vannwel and Finnigan, and I will look them both in the eye, and you hear him say, "And listen here. I'm not joking when I tell you this, but we are in a world of shite right now. All right? Get your stuff together. I don't know what's about to happen."
Have we had enough time for a short rest since the fishing competition?
Nope.
Okay.
Immediately.
Then I'm gonna say, like, what? Be clear. Say the word you're trying to say. I don't understand what is happening.
What part of they have real weapons did you not understand?
Okay, so the people coming up the hill. Okay. Oh gosh.
This is not
can
a
I
joke.
see-
This is not a prank. This is not
there
a
bystanders?
maybe, oh yes, sort of kind of thing. They have swords, damn it.
Are there
We need to
bystanders
keep these.
then?
Well, you have your 20 or 30 militiamen with wooden swords.
But aren't
who
there people sitting and watching?
Yeah, on the other hill.
I'm gonna run and start screaming to the people on the other hill. Attention! This is not a drill! There is a real armed force approaching right now! You need to either evacuate or come help fight. Go grab whatever implements you can get and help defend your town. You're being invaded! And just scream that at the people on the other hill.
That's what you're screaming. Vannwel, what are you doing while the screaming is happening?
I think Van is just trying to check if it's not an illusion that everybody's trying to.
No, you're pretty certain now. You can see that there is definitely, they are armed. They've actually broken cover now of the forest, and they are charging up the hill with real blades. The people around you are starting to go, did they get to paint theirs? If I could have painted mine, I would have painted mine bronze. Don't be daft. Bronze is not a strong enough metal against steel. It would break your blade in half, wouldn't it, you stupid twit? Well, I would have still painted mine, maybe pink. What do you mean? That's kind of what's going on. Finnigan rushing forward, shouting this. As you start shouting, it's a real invasion. It triggers everybody else to go, yeah, it's real, and then they all start shouting and your voice gets lost in the mixed. Meanwhile, Marjorie, you're approaching Baccharis the Younger as he's putting a chest into this boat.
Yes, I would like to do that thing that people do in movies where they kind of move across the ground and then the camera's in front of them and then they hear a voice and turn around and they're almost exactly sort of in the space behind them.
Sure, he's not paying attention at all.
And I say, it seems very unpatriotic to be skipping town in the middle of this incredibly important to the festival that's so important to the town, Lord Baccarus. I'm surprised at you.
Yeah, well, it's not like I had much of a choice, is it?
Oh?
No, you don't think I want to be loading all of Dad's stuff into the stupid boat? It's not like I wanted to do it, but it was because of last night. He says I've got to learn. Hey!
What are you going
You
to
look
learn in a
poor.
boat?
I could pay you. I'll give you 5 gold to carry all this stuff into the boat.
I'll give you the benefit of pretending I've misheard that.
Oh, all right, I'll say it louder. Help me carry this into the boat.
Okay, I'll say it louder. No. What
Rude.
are you doing in the boat?
What does it look like? I'm packing Dad's stuff. This is our boat. I'm allowed to pack stuff.
Why are you packing your father's boat?
Because
Haven't
my
seen his
father
sorry
told
face
me
around
to.
Here.
I was supposed to be leading the battle, wasn't I? Only he said no. I've got to pack this stuff into the boat. I don't know why. He never tells me anything anyway.
Can I have a look at what it is? Is it literally? Can I see anything that he's packing, or is it all in?
It looks like a lot of boxes, trunks, but most of it looks like traveling cases. It doesn't look particularly exciting.
Going on holiday.
Oh, he's probably doing one of his trips again. He didn't tell me about it this time, though, so he's obviously very angry about last night.
Are you
It's
going
not like
with
I did
him?
anything. What?
Are you going with him?
Well, I suppose so. He didn't say that I should pack my stuff. Anyway, if you're not going to help me, shove off. Strange old woman.
I don't think that's very polite. I think you need to learn how to speak to people if people are going to respect you as a figure of this community. I'd like to roll an intimidation check.
You certainly can.
Because he's annoying.
Well, look, I'm sorry, all right? I'm just not very happy. It's not fair that Darrett gets to go. I mean, he's just a stupid squire. No one even likes him. And I've got to pack the cases. It should be him packing the cases.
Why in such a hurry? Why not go after the battle? Show willing. I'm sure your father could do with a few brownie points in Vogler.
Don't ask me. He's busy leading that whole thing now. He said, I've got to have the boat packed before the battle's finished.
I was on my way up there just now. I didn't see him.
Oh, he's probably been up there for a while preparing his speech. He was rehearsing it all last night. Anyway.
Well, I'm sure it can wait, this boat packing. If your father is currently on the hill, then you can't be leaving within the next few minutes.
Look, I don't know, but he tells me what to do and I do it. Otherwise I get a clip around the ear, all right? He said, pack the boat before the battle's finished, otherwise I'd be in trouble. More trouble than from losing my sword last night.
Oh dear, you've misplaced it, have you?
Yeah, well, it seems I drank too much at the party. Anyway. Meanwhile, back on the hill, the three of you watch as these mercenaries, who are very heavily armed, start to charge your position. But we will find out what happens next week, as we are out of time. Unfortunately. Big thank you to all of you for playing this evening. I really appreciate your efforts and attentions, and for winning the fishing competition. Well done on that one. I thought that octopus was going to get away and live to tell a tale of terror and woe. Meanwhile, it's ending up as today's lunch. for after this reenactment. Massive thank you to our moderator. That would be LauraBones79 in chat. Thank you for being around, and to all of you for watching us have shenanigans. So there we are. A very quick thing which I remember doing and haven't done for a while, and so I'm going to just throw it out here as to random terror of my players, and I'm going to roll a d4 to see who is going to do it. And what I'm going to do is ask you for your favourite moment from today's game. And so 1, 2, 3. Michael, what was your favourite moment from today's game?
Oh, interesting. My favourite moment, I think has to go to. Actually, I didn't get to say anything in game about it, but it was the moment where the confetti cannon went off, and then both Marjorie and Nudeih absolutely obliterated it. Because I sat there for a moment because I think because Marjorie and Nudeih are both charismatic characters by nature, you know, we've had a lot of similarities and we get along. Kind of like in that very like almost borderline, you know, kind of like, you know, like scuffle kind of way. And then that in that moment, it's like all of that kind of shed off and we did what needed to be done. And it's like, you know, the both of us turned around, just blasted it. And I kind of felt like there was this moment of like, it was like in the middle of like this like action movie kind of scene where no one else realizes that this could have exploded on the ground. People could have been injured. And it was just very, you know, like the peace has been kept. We did the thing, you know. We could go for the accolades, we could go for the cheer, but the fact that neither of us did, and the both of us just kind of were so in sync in that moment, that for me was my favorite by far.
Lovely. There we go. We'll find out more favourite moments from the rest of the players over the next couple of weeks. Until then, we will see you next week, same time, same channel. As usual, join us on discord.gg/greatgm for more chats and to caption that wonderful illustration that Gabe drew for us. And with that, I think that's everything that I have to say, except goodbye.
Bye.